podcast was created on Messy. Create your own show today at messy.fm.
Awesome. Yo, welcome to the Joe Budden podcast. Yo, what is up, guys? This is actually last week's podcast.
Last week's first week.
No.
Last week's
first. I was making a joke. I was hoping I would get it. Oh, yeah. All right. So this is Keep Crossing, episode 1. You know, we're here in this room.
We're getting newsy.
Yeah.
I gotta stop saying that.
It's not gonna catch on.
Oh my goodness.
It's like trying to make fetch happen. Fetch will never happen.
I feel as though everybody should probably introduce themselves. So, I am Dominic.
Connoisseur of...
You know, talking shit.
Dom, Hunter of Monsters.
That's a fact.
Oh, do y'all have to have titles?
Barely. Not
Yeah.
really, but...
Oh, just
maybe
Dom.
get what
We
you
need
do.
titles. We need titles, but the other people need to give them.
Alright.
Oh.
Alright.
I got my own title, though.
No, apparently
who's
you can...
next?
I'm
Who's
just
introducing
kidding.
them?
Connoisseur of everything, you know, games, movies, music.
Wait, I thought we had to give
No.
you what your...
That seems pretty good.
He doesn't know anything.
I think so.
You assume that he doesn't know anything about the things that you just said.
So there was my name.
Ethan, like Earth of Brave.
I'm
Like
not
Earth of Brave.
I'm not ashamed.
That's
You
wild.
can't shame me.
Alright, hey guys, I'm Katie. What is my nickname? I'm afraid.
Get newsy with it.
You newsy. Get newsy with everything.
Get newsy with
Whatever
Katie.
that was.
I
Say that on the podcast. You gotta just-
got a tweet.
I am Seth, and I'm not really.
No,
Dang,
the
you
master.
just roasted yourself. You can't-
Gotta cut it. It's like 8 Mile. I gotta get you.
The leader of the whole bunch. And welcome to another episode. Well, the first episode, but you know,
Maybe.
you get it. Keep crossing. So, you know, we're gonna give a word to our sponsors. Apple. No, I'm sorry. Cut the check.
Apple, Bethesda, Sony, everybody.
Our sponsor, My Spare Room.
Hey.
I remember what I was ranting about now.
What were you ranting
It was
about?
BioWare, but it was like so long ago.
BioWare.
BioWare.
BioWare
Why are you ranting?
was so long
Probably
ago,
never played
but
the
I
game.
thought it was last
Not a
week.
game.
Tekken didn't make them. Okay.
Tekken didn't make the game.
Alright. Today we actually have a couple news articles for you guys that we're just gonna run through. Who wants to go first? You.
I have a small one, so we're gonna start with this. So, we all like Spider-Man.
See, love Spider-Man.
I mean, okay.
He's a great guy.
What? Oh,
It's a
nice.
It's not that I don't like Spider-Man, but honestly, like, if you were like, name some superheroes, he probably would not be the first 5 that comes out my
That's
mouth.
fun.
That's okay.
Just
But
like
everybody
him.
likes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's alright.
Alright, that's fair enough.
We'll take that.
Have you guys seen the new suit that was announced? That was released?
Yes. I
Is that
believe.
pictures?
Yeah.
You actually,
yeah.
I have not seen it. You've been talking about it, but I have not seen it.
You've seen it, Dom?
Not
See?
at all.
So there's a storyline in the comics called Superior Spider-Man, where his suit is black and red. So I have a couple pictures, which isn't going to help people listening. But the suit essentially looks exactly like his suit from Homecoming,
Okay.
which is just like the blue and red, and it's got like the little like black lines on it.
Oh, I use that during
Yeah.
in the Spider-Man photo.
I use the Scarlet Spider
Uh-oh.
with like the blue hoodie and shit.
I haven't got that far yet.
So like it's exactly like
How is it your game, but he beat it faster than you?
I
Because
also
I don't play it.
I also played it. That's because Dom played Monster Hunter, and I played nothing but Spider-Man for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, that's fine.
But this
I
suit
was
is
swinging, I was
essentially
like-
just like that, except it's the blue is now black.
Okay, that's a little ill. What?
No,
That looks
I
real
like
dope.
the black.
That looks real cool.
Wait,
I
that's
like
for
the
the
back.
new,
Yeah, that's
the
the
new
new-
movie.
yeah.
I'm gonna be with Dom on this. I don't
Ill.
know. Maybe
Nah.
he just look a little thick, and I'm not liking it.
The
but-
spider on the back is also white,
Let me see.
like
Alright.
the new.
Maybe
like,
I'm a little suit racist.
I-
like the-
I like it. It's different.
And then also, there have been reports and pictures, because I got one right here, a couple pictures of what looks like, you guys seen the Spider Noir suit?
Yeah.
Where he's like, it's like from the 20s, he's like dressed in all black.
Mhm.
That is a set picture from the new movie that looks almost exactly like the Spider Noir suit.
Oh, let me see.
He's got
like
like
wearing
a
the
black
Spider
mask.
Noir suit.
I don't know. It's not the 20s.
I know in the game.
It takes place in.
In the game, it helps me sneak around.
But it's got them stats.
But I feel
This
so.
is blurry, it looks like
Yeah.
Deathstroke.
Oh my god. Give me
It
this.
does.
Give me this.
How do you know that's Spider-Man? Could be Deathstroke.
Well, he's like 2 feet tall.
He's being recorded right
Deathstroke
now.
from DC.
Yeah.
It does, though. Look at it. Does it not?
It doesn't.
It does.
So you being
I'm
recorded
really
right
sorry.
Alright, whatever.
But yeah. So like they've had like multiple set pictures of the suits. They've had the one from Homecoming, like his red and blue.
Yeah.
Then they've had the red and black one, and now like people are coming like forward with pictures of what looks like the Spider Noir suit, which is confusing because this is like this. That would be like the 7th fucking suit of Spider-Man in the 3 movies he's appeared in.
And he's dead right now. So
No,
how
it's
do you-
different. It's not Peter Parker.
Oh, it's not Peter. Oh, it could be Miles.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
Alright,
but
so
I'm pretty sure Superior Spider-Man was Dr. Octavius.
alright, so if it's Miles, if they're doing a Miles Spider-Man, I'll roll with the red and black. I don't know. I'll just do it. You know, since we getting a Miles Spider-Man.
I think he. I
they
think
want to do
Miles
purple
might
and
actually
yellow.
be
Like
red and
I'm
black.
gonna with.
and I was about to say
I'm pretty sure Miles.
that person looked a little fat in that Spider-Man suit, whoever it was.
That's what I said. Maybe it's because he's a little thick. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
I feel like
being dead.
It's actually just like a fan from Comic Con, like it's not actually Spider-Man.
But Miles Morales, so the suits that I remember is black and gray, and the newer ones, especially the Into the Universe.
he's
I'm
kind
saying
of black and
yeah,
red
he
with
did
the
black
white
and red.
spider.
Yeah. So it was
It's
like
possible. They haven't introduced him. The only thing that
they
the thing,
introduced his uncle.
yeah, they introduced it was Gambino, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they would have.
He's in
They
everything
would have
now.
kept it
He's
street.
in Lion.
Not just change the colors.
Of
You know
course,
what I
not Dominus.
My whole check is going towards that movie.
mean?
Seen that movie every day.
It would.
Like,
If
to get
it were
movie
if it was
fashion.
Miles, it would be cool. But
My favorite.
I mean, the MCU is like a real big fan of
like
like
the Lion.
setting stuff
Yeah,
up. So if they don't set up Miles, it'd be weird. They just kind of throw him in.
Man, they set them up in the games. So, you know, might
They
as well
really
get a
did.
movie.
Holy shit!
Might as well give them a movie.
They set
Wait.
up in the games.
You have a PC, so you're telling me that you don't buy the game, but you just watch somebody else play the whole game through?
I don't really know if I care to spend $60 to play a game once. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't, but we're not going to get into that.
Okay. You know what I mean? It has to have it has to have good replay, like good replay value. You know what I mean?
But
It
you're
makes
not
sense.
playing it in the first place to see if it has replay value.
But I'm watching.
What are you
know,
gonna
play-
watch it again? Like, oh, that was interesting. Episode
At
1.
least you watch the whole thing and then like you know that I get where you're coming from. You watch
Yeah,
it
like
and then
but
you're
see,
like,
I know if I would have played this Spider-Man, I'd play through it once. I'm done.
They haven't even released a new game plus for it yet. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, I haven't played through it once.
But that's me. I already know
I
that's
just found
how
my
I
stuff
would be.
in the trash.
That's not me, but I still think it's a good game.
Oh man.
There's a lot of games I've watched
It's so
that I
good.
don't play.
It
because
is
I don't-
I thought it was the second game. It's the third game I've ever played.
really.
It's a real easy platform. It's
Yeah,
like,
but I mean,
it's real simple. If you do everything, I mean, it makes sense to do everything platinum, but like, it like, even all the collectibles, it tells you where they are straight from the beginning, so you just gotta take like 10 minutes to go get it. That's a trophy. So, it's pretty easy. Hardest games.
so all right. I kind of liked it better when all this stuff was a secret.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
We were talking
don't
about
get
this
me
the other
wrong.
day.
Yeah, like we were. It's like, don't get me wrong. We're not done. Anybody that reads comic fans, like comics, is like, Spider-Man's not dead after Infinity War.
No
but
one-
it's
no
like,
one dies.
spoiler alert. But it's like, yeah, but now we really know he's not dead because we see pictures of him filming his next movie.
Look,
So it's like,
Look,
come
but
on.
the movie doesn't have to
The
be
movie-
chronological.
That's true.
but well,
There are-
but the name, the title, ensues that
I think it takes
that it
place in London.
is.
I think it takes place in London.
Really.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like
He's the traveling
I think
Spider-Man.
it's, I think it's like
Not
something
the
like
name.
I think the way somebody described it is like something. Stark Enterprises like funded field trip for like your school, which I guess will put his like man in the chair, dude.
So who's gonna be the villain?
Me,
Syria.
I'm the
Oh,
Who?
that's
Syria?
I like
Oh,
the
that's
Syria.
good.
He's one of my
Jake
favorite
Gyllenhaal is
Spider-Man
playing
films.
Syria.
Oh,
I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal's really cool.
I am weak.
Jake
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
They have
Yeah, see, we can find some pictures of
there's a-
Jake on set. You know what I'm saying?
there's a really short video that like is Mysterio on set, but like you can't like see his face. It's just them from like
Yes.
15 stories up. It's like real blurry.
That's because that's someone from somebody's
It was,
apartment
so I
going,
thought it was.
"Hello, I'm watching you."
Yeah, it also doesn't. Yeah, it also doesn't help they're filming around people's houses, so like people can just look out their window. And
Plus,
take
you
it.
know, it's things get leaked.
Yeah.
It's the real world we live in.
I agree with Don though, because I mean, like, you've got like Black Panther 2, for instance.
It's
Like,
coming.
Shout out.
It's coming. Ryan Coogler's coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck's
I
going
read
to
an
I don't know
article about it
anything
the other
about
day. It
Black
said
Panther.
something.
I didn't even know Killmonger was a thing.
Well, I mean, if we go by comics, Killmonger's coming back.
Yeah,
So,
true.
that's
And
true.
then someone said it too, and then we didn't really necessarily get a confirmation of his death. Plus, in Wakanda, anything is possible. You know, they
you
bring
mean
people
him
back.
dying right there? On
I
the-
mean, but
Him
like,
going like this,
but you know what I'm
falling over.
saying? Like,
Did you
they
finally walk?
they didn't
Like-
bury the man. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
He could have been dead for a bit. Sir pop up and be like, oh, they go, poof. You know?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
All right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, you got a point. Well, I mean, that's interesting. Can't wait to see that.
I know.
I mean,
They might
honestly,
explain
Tom
it,
Holland's
you know?
my favorite Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland's my. It's rough for me. I don't really like Tobey Maguire. I didn't listen.
Your octave is from there to there.
Tobey Maguire was all right. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest, he was a little slow for me. Like, and not like mentally. I mean, like,
Mentally for me.
I mean, like with his Spidey moves. Like, if you watch Spider-Man 1 through 3, and then all right, and then you watch
Amazing Spider-Man.
what's his name?
Andrew Garfield.
Spider-Man. Like, he does spider stuff. Like, that man was like, I don't know when,
Yeah.
He
chilling
was
in the
Spider-
sewer, crawling around Lizard Man. That man was like that.
Yeah,
like, he was like being a spider.
That was
he was
one of
more,
the
he was
coolest
more,
parts.
yeah, he was more agile with it, which I was like, okay, I'm with that. You know what I mean? But Tom Holland, I feel like I can connect more with in a sense. He's more kiddish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There were moments. There was like there was a moment in Homecoming, and then there was like one spoiler alert where he dies in
Mhm.
Infinity War, where like when
If
like
you don't know
right,
that he's dead.
Spider-Man's dead.
If you
So,
don't know
like-
that by now, like if someone doesn't know this by now, like they
Well,
live
like,
in a rock.
Yeah, but there's
Not
like
under the rock, in the rock.
there's like a part of like Homecoming, like right before he's about to go fight the Vulture for the last time, where like he gets stuck like on the rubble, and like he's like crying.
Well, that was like an iconic scene.
Yeah, 'cause he's like just a kid, like stuck under this rubble. Like he needs help, but like no one's there to help him. Like that's one of my favorite parts of like any Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's just a kid, man. Like, he's just a fucking kid.
You better buck up, woo.
Yeah.
Caught on that rubber.
And, like,
I wouldn't cost you.
Oh, God,
That
it's so
Spidey
good.
senses.
Because like I was a huge fan because like a long time ago, like I tried to like defend Spider-Man 2, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 for like the longest time.
Spider-Man's your favorite. Isn't
Spider-Man
he?
is like
Spider-Man 2 was good. I mean,
It was
the
good.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans were good.
They're
But it
very
was just
good.
like, they were just, seeing Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man
Yeah.
in action was a lot more, in a sense, believable.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 before Homecoming was the best movie.
It's just that Andrew Garfield.
There was a very good movie in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 because Electro was dope.
Yeah.
The Goblin was a good idea, but
Yeah.
they gave him like the plastic vampire teeth to do that in his mouth. It was like, all right, growl something.
Can I say
also
something
don't
a little
like
controversial?
Can
I have never seen a single Spider-Man movie ever.
I believe it.
we pause recording real quick?
We have to take a.
We need to
I
have
also didn't like the
We have
fact
to do a
that they just
staff
like
change.
because Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were like dating. Like a lot of their scenes was them just like turning on the camera. It was like riff.
Yeah.
So it was just like awkward. Like if you go back and watch those movies, it's just like a bunch of like awkward experiences.
Oh, they're so good though. They're so good together.
Like some
You
They're
can't
still
look at
together.
on
that.
your computer screen.
That's creepy.
He don't know.
That was the
What
first
he's talking about.
They were
Yo, can you
dating.
read your lines?
They weren't dating at that time, and Uncle Ben was just kind of being a piece of shit. He's like, you're on his computer. It's like, that's fucking bro. Like,
I mean, that is.
Wait, in the movie, was Uncle Ben dead?
He had like
Yeah.
scenes and stuff
he
like
had
that.
scenes at the
in
beginning. He was like kind of like an actual character in the movie for a bit.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And him talking to Emma Stone?
Yeah, because like this was like right after Peter like
I don't remember that. scene, but-
dunks on like Flash Thompson or something. and like the whole like backboard breaks.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and like he's in detention, and he's like,
Dunked on somebody.
he did.
He did.
And then like Uncle Ben comes to school to pick him up, and then he sees like he's like, oh shit, that's the girl on your computer, right? And then like he looks over around Peter and goes, you're on his computer, and
That's
And
wild.
then leave.
Should we give our
Yeah,
final thoughts on this suit?
yeah, because we're kind of on about Spider-Man now.
My final thought, the suit's nice. If it's a Miles Morales suit, I get why we're doing the red and black again. But it also, if it is a Miles Morales suit, I wish it was more streety, like with a reddish black
Yeah.
hoodie. Kind of like
Yeah.
with some Converses or something.
Yeah, he's always got the hoodie on with the Jordans or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
like I feel like
It's like
I
you're getting
feel like
some
if
black.
he would have actually.
He doesn't have to have the new fresh J's, but I mean, like, I get you.
I feel like if he was going to make that suit, it wouldn't look that sleek. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but if it is back to a Tom Holland or white Spider-Man, I don't really roll with. I think you stick with the red and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I just like the black.
My final thoughts kind of just echo his. Like, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. But, I mean, that's the thing that comes with leaks is, like, you can form your own opinion around it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, I wouldn't even imagine how I would feel about set leaks of a lot of the movies that I've watched if I saw the leaks before the actual movie. Like,
Yeah.
So,
My thing is like, because I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I didn't like the Iron Spider suit
I love it.
before I watched Infinity War.
That's 'cause they tweak it.
If that makes any sense,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like it just
You see that thing just get on you?
Oh, yeah.
When you watch the movie,
It's so good.
Oh.
It's so cool. Because like even playing like the Spider-Man game was like the first time I had like had it the longest amount of exposure.
That's the funny thing, because like you like played the
Yeah.
game with it, but like I didn't play the game, but I was like, yo, this suit's in the game.
Yeah.
Like I already was attached before you
But
began.
it
You
was
probably
like-
like,
Yeah, I was playing the game and I was like, the ability is cool because it gives you the arms, but you can put that on any suit. So I was like, I want the Scarlet Spider suit because I like the red suit with the blue hoodie. That's like one of my favorite Spider-Man. So like, I was like, just give me the arms with a different suit because the suit's garbage. But then I watched Infinity War and I saw it in action with the arms. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Suit is amazing.
So as someone who doesn't really like Spider-Man, as someone who's a Spider-Man hater,
I'm not a Spider-Man
What-
hater. I just don't have an
What the
opinion.
fuck?
do you like the suit though? Like,
No,
do you
I-
like it more than the red and
No,
blue?
I do. I like the black. I
You
like the black. I think it looks dope.
I do.
It makes him look a little
I
bit
just-
cooler.
Yeah, I like the red and the black. Superior
sense.
Spider-Man has like a cool suit. The difference is like the spider is black and it's like going over his shoulders like the legs are, and it looks so much
Well, I
cooler.
just don't like red and blue
But-
together. Like it's too.
Okay, now we're
Yeah, now we're getting. I just don't like the way red.
you don't like the American flag either?
Oh my god! All right,
All right.
who's
Alright,
next?
So,
Yeah, we'll do.
I'm going to talk about. I mean, you gotta find a better way to transition to this. It's just like, like the whole James Gunn situation.
Oh, boy.
About him doing the next like Suicide Squad, and apparently from the article it says that it's like it wouldn't be considered a direct sequel, but a new take on the franchise. Unquote. So
So they're like,
which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited because I mean I'm a DC fan, so it's like this is a new shot for DC. I was like one more bad movie away from just saying like just give it over to Disney.
Yeah.
So like
oh,
because it's just like what the heck
I
is
think
going
Marvel
on?
does make
But,
better movies than DC.
okay. So me and
Triggered.
Dom,
like, yeah, they do, but
They
they're like
make more.
triggered.
Dom,
Yeah, man, you can't swim on it.
I
though.
like DC more than I like Marvel, but I think Marvel makes better movies than DC.
if you had asked me when Batman vs Superman came out, I would have defended DC until my dying breath.
Yeah, same.
And then I watched Suicide Squad. Wonder Woman it gets worse and worse the more you watch
Well, I
it.
don't like Gal.
I like
I don't like
Gal
Gal.
first.
I don't like.
I
her.
still don't know why you don't like
I
it.
don't like Gal.
How?
And then the more I watch Justice
She's
League, the
like
worse
saying
it gets.
It's
I'm
just
like,
something about her
Justice
that-
League was so bad.
Justice League's not.
It was terrible.
Justice League's not good.
It was so purple. at
I
the end
watched
for
it.
no reason.
I was like, my favorite color is purple. And I was watching, I was like, this is
The literal only reason I watch Justice League is because I'm a fan of Cyborg. That's literally it. I told everybody, I was like, I'm only seeing this
Cyborg
movie
was cool.
because Cyborg was good.
Cyborg was cool. Justice League made me not like Ben Affleck's Batman. And then the other coolest
really
part,
like Ben Affleck's Batman.
the other coolest part was Henry Cavill, and I can't even look at him because of his blood. Like it's really not that bad, but it's noticeable.
it's noticeable in like his close-up scenes.
Yeah.
But in the fighting and stuff.
There's a part where, like, right when, like, he comes back to life and, like, Cyborg, like, tries to freeze him or some shit. Or hits him with something. And then, like, Superman looks at him, but, like, his entire top lip is gone. It does not exist.
Yeah, but
it's, like, tucked in, but his bottom lip is, like, bigger.
You know, Dave, what's his last name? Batista, he wants to go over and, like, work with him on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's just see what he'll be first.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that a lot of things happen with this is like a high and low for the situation because I feel as though since it's not going to be a direct sequel, it's kind of scares me because though the movie was pretty bad, a lot of the casting in it, I feel as though I would like on a different circumstance. Like I was iffy about Jared Leto when I first saw the pictures of him before the movie came out, all the tattoos and stuff like that. But honestly, the little scenes with him in it were some of my favorite scenes in that movie.
And I don't know, did they...
Like, it was the other way around.
I feel as though they just didn't give him enough time to shine. Yeah. It was like every time he was there, they like stripped him away so fast.
But apparently he said that he filmed
they filmed the movie was supposed to be, or at least Harley Quinn and his side was supposed to be a totally different.
I feel like that was supposed to be the main
really
story.
Dark. And it's funny, watching a lot of people that are like, couple goals. I'm like, yo,
that's abuse.
And it was gonna be really dark, like you were saying and stuff like that, until the trailer came out, which had a lot of jokes and it was very colorful and stuff like that. Especially just getting off of, and that's the thing, it was getting off of the Guardians wave because Guardians had probably just come out around that time. I don't know, fact check it later, but like it was like so people
Guardians
wanted to see that.
14.
So
1 or 2?
One had come out in 14 or 15.
One came in 14.
So it was a little bit right after that because Batman vs Superman came out. That was 15 or 16 because it was right before Civil War. So
it was like people wanted to see that again, especially after seeing all the colors and you got Bohemian Rhapsody playing and all that stuff. People wanted to see that. So, but the thing is that that left whatever company that was to do something stupid and leave all the editing to the people that just edited their trailer, and it's like, why in the heck would you do that? But now with James Gunn on it, especially the guy that did the Guardians thing, the movie can then now be like that. And I feel as though those casts of the Will Smith, the Margot Robbies and all that would go super well with this. But if it's not a direct sequel, then it's like, is it new cast? Is it like...
Well, that's the thing. Are they going to do a Suicide Squad with different villains?
That, I guess it would make sense because, like, I guess Harley got broken out, so she would really be in it.
They said a new take.
So Will Smith, I guess, his Deadshot was kind of, it seemed like, because like he was kind of like hanging out with his daughter again or something like that. But like my biggest issue with this, because I love the first Guardians, I didn't like. The second one, when I watched it, was my favorite movie. Mm-hmm. This was even after I'd seen Ragnarok. Ragnarok is hands down probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. I don't like Guardians. Now, my biggest thing is I like Zack Snyder as a director. The guy who did Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman.
I like Man of Steel.
Man of Steel's dope.
I like some parts of
Man of Steel is really good. But, like, he's a great director, and, like, what he was doing was good, because, like, his cut of Batman vs Superman, the 3-hour long one that's on, like, the Blu-ray and stuff, that's really good.
Love it.
And then, basically, Warner Brothers was like, all right, well, we need to cut all this shit out to make it, at least a watchable movie in one sitting, like a 2.5-hour movie. They're absolutely going to do that with James Gunn. Like, the reason James Gunn was so good at Marvel is because Marvel just gave him free reign to do whatever. Mm-hmm. So, like, if he has Warner Brother breathing down his neck, it's not going to turn out as well as Guardians.
But Guardians weren't really long movies. Well,
but I mean, they're not even cutting it for time because they did the same thing with Justice League. They're cutting it to try to make it. Justice League had a lot more issues because they had 2 whole directors who were completely different people. It was a whole thing. Like, They didn't do it with Wonder Woman, which makes me feel like they wouldn't really do it with James Gunn because he knows what the hell he's doing. Mm-hmm. But they have such a reputation for messing with the movies in ways that they don't need to be messed with.
Yeah.
So it makes me a little cautious.
I just feel as though that, like, I don't know. I think it's going to be really, really good. I hope a lot of the old cast stays. I'm not hoping for a direct sequel. Even if they hit us with the Terrence Howard effect of, like, it's like the same people, and they're just like, I don't know what the first movie was.
The best part of Iron Man now is the best part of Iron Man now is watching Terrence Howard look back and go, next time. No, Terrence.
Nope.
Not next time.
Actually.
Actually.
But I don't see how they could do a direct sequel of the first Suicide Squad when it didn't end in a direct sequel way. It might have ended.
It ended in a way where it was like, all right,
anything else is a new movie, a new villain, new everything. So it's like,
as long as they bring
even
back,
if you wanted to call it a sequel, it wouldn't.
as long as they bring, which I guess they have to, because she's kind of a staple of the Suicide Squad storylines. But Viola Davis as Amanda Waller,
Yeah,
they brought her back. She was probably one of the best
she
parts
was
of the
one
movie.
of the.
Because that end credit scene, I mean, it didn't really make any sense that she would know who Batman is, but it's still like real cool.
And I guess to keep it in the realm of DC, just in the same situation, the whole Henry Cavill thing. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
Is he legitimately done?
Yeah.
He does.
Because like he posted something on like Instagram that was like real fucking weird, and was like, Henry, that's not an answer.
Wait, what?
Please help me.
Please
Yeah,
help
he
me.
posted like some weird video with like his dog, I think.
Mhm.
Like after that whole thing came out, they're like, it's a rumor, he's done. But like he posted something on Instagram, it's like him with his dog.
Mhm.
It was like it had something to do with Superman somehow.
He just liked his
Maybe
dog.
he's
Maybe
doing Crypto the Superdog movies now.
On Crypto the Superdog. He's voicing Crypto.
he just wants to spend time with his dog. Maybe.
It had something to do with Superman, but like
He just likes.
You heard it
Superman
here
and his
first.
Henry Cavill.
exclusive. Henry Cavill's now Crypto.
But like,
CGI Crypto.
honestly,
How do you feel about him in The Witcher? Because like, if
to
he's,
tell you
doing,
the truth,
if he's doing The Witcher, he's probably done.
Who's he playing?
I hope.
He's playing Geralt.
Ew, did you see
I'm not
Yen's
with that.
casting?
He's not old enough. I'm gonna keep it 100.
But no, have you
They're going
seen,
for a younger
speaking of
one,
people
yeah.
not being old enough, have you seen Yennefer's casting? She looks 12.
Yeah, Yennefer looks 12. Ciri looks like 4.
Which makes sense if Ciri is young, because there is part of The Witcher 3 where she is a child.
Yeah.
So depending on what part of, like, the show, like, what time period it is, she could be a child. But Yennefer looking 12 to 14 would not
Yeah.
ever work.
No.
Hold on, I'm
To
gonna
tell
pull
you
it
the
up.
truth, I bought The Witcher 3.
We know.
Deluxe
Yes,
edition.
yes.
All my sister.
Yes.
And I got to where they were training
Yep.
in the yard.
Yep.
And I stopped playing. It's like, I don't know. It just made me think about wanting to play Skyrim.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
why not just play
Yes.
Skyrim? Like, so I didn't
That's
play.
Ciri and that's Yen.
The way it went, because I did the same thing.
Yes, he
Because
was like 13.
I bought it when it first came out. I was like, this looks like Skyrim, and I'm done with Skyrim, so I'm gonna play this.
I said the
Didn't
same
like it.
thing.
Got rid of it. My friend bought it. I was like, hey, I'm gonna try this again. Are you done with it? He was like, yeah, here, you can have it. I was like, cool. Played it again. Didn't like it. Gave it back to him. You bought it.
Mhm.
I downloaded it from you. Played it again. Didn't like it.
And then you-
Stopped at the exact same time.
And then didn't you buy it?
And then I bought it again when you and I first started dating.
And I told
Played it again. Stopped at the
Are you
exact
talking
same
about
part.
Witcher 3?
Yeah,
I-
here's the thing,
I have
I
tried The
love
Witcher 3 5
the lore.
times.
I love the stories, but
This
I
man
cannot.
tried.
My
I
eyes
tried.
are like very
People are like,
sensitive,
it's-
and it makes me want to throw up every time.
And it's
Like, it gives me the headache,
it's
and
like
I
it's one
just
of the
can't
best
say it.
games in the world.
Yes.
It's supposed to be like one of the
Yes.
best games in the world. And
The
it's like,
story is great.
So,
I love the story.
honestly,
I
to
love
tell you the
lore.
truth, I'm a creature of habit. And it's like, there are different ways that you can intrigue the brain. Maybe sometimes, maybe the game just isn't going to do it. But I like Henry Cavill as an actor
Yes.
enough
That
that
you might
I don't
watch
know
the movie.
that if I see this show and it's really good, I'm going to want to imitate art. So I'm going to watch the show and then turn around and play the game. So it's just like, so honestly, the Witcher game better make sure this show. Because if you want to download, you're going to make this.
That was funny because my friends were like, "Yeah, you like Skyrim? Play the Witcher." I'm just like, "Well, why would I just play Skyrim?"
Exactly.
Like, and I'm
we
not,
got mods now.
Yeah,
Yeah, PlayStation
like-
4.
and I didn't, and I played on PC. I'm the Witcher's on PC, but I didn't really play it. And Skyrim mods I downloaded were only like quality of life mods because I did like 3 different playthroughs of
Yeah.
Skyrim. I did a bow playthrough, a magic
Only 3?
playthrough. Well, I mean, there's certain ways, like
Yeah.
battle class wise, there's technically only 3 ways to really play:
Yeah.
ranged bow, magic, or like all melee weapons.
Yeah.
Magic one was like my most like
Oh, yeah.
OP one.
My magic.
Like
powers,
it's
ridiculous.
like I can't remember the last time I actually struck someone myself. Like I snap
You
my
just
fingers and
summoned
my
something.
demon lords come up. They're like, please, oh my god.
Do you know what I don't like about magic in Skyrim?
What?
that when you get to a certain point, it's all like area of effect magic, and then you kill your followers every time.
Well,
I've done
That's
that.
how they killed Carja.
I've killed
Really?
3. I killed
Carja's the
Carjo.
best.
I didn't need followers.
that.
I feel you though.
I just summoned the dragon.
I needed a follower. I need help. I need help with the
I
follower.
killed Carjo. I killed that
What,
girl.
destruction? Destruction?
Yeah,
Really
destruction.
strong?
One
Why do you use AoE destruction? Chill!
Because after
What,
you
you
get,
fight the whole
I
city?
do.
because you go from
One
like,
person in
No.
the city cussed me out. Everybody did.
because it goes like as soon as you get to like adept, it's all AoE.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mostly use the playthrough I'm going with now because I just started playing again.
Somebody else.
I
have
talked to.
I'm
3
using
different files
I
going
have
on right
I'm using
now.
dual wield, but my left hand's conjuration, my right hand.
My,
Because that's what I did.
the Conjuring's the first thing I got to. 100
Yeah.
Destruction was the next. But I really got into like the alteration, I think it was.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
there's
down.
if you bought the DLCs, there's different spells you can learn.
Yeah.
There's one spell where you turn someone. I used to use it on my followers just so I could use AoE magic. You could turn someone to it was like turning them into stone, but the spell was like ash or whatever. So it's like the paralysis spell. So you can't be hurt, but you can't. You be like you fall over. You can't be hurt. So I would like stone my followers and be like, all right, yo, this whole motherfucking place is about to get shut down. Don't worry about them. They'll die.
They'll get up in 50.
I got 15 seconds to do whatever I gotta do.
Yo, oh my goodness.
But
That
like
game
it was
amazing.
like Skyrim. I don't know. I never played The Witcher, but Skyrim. I had like I was in control, and you were in control in The Witcher, but like in the Skyrim, you got
You're
to
whoever
do,
you're.
you got to do what you really wanted.
Yeah.
Like,
You
there was,
create your person.
Yeah.
there was like like I said, I did different playthroughs, and they were all very different. Like Bo was like. Magic was obviously the most strongest one. I could kind of do whatever I wanted. Bo
And
was
it's
different. Melee was the hardest playthrough I've ever done because it's like
And
you have to
Magic
fight
was-
against magic people, and if there's melee people that are stronger than you, if you're fighting multiple melee people, it's rough as hell. I died so much, and I don't feel like I would get that in The Witcher. I feel like, oh, you plan to be sure, you secondary sure. You got like one fire spell, you know what I mean? It's like,
it was like super weird. Magic in Skyrim just makes you super OP. Because even in my like thief build that I started off using bows, it eventually turned into like a bow magic type of thing. Because they'll
Until
be like,
this current playthrough,
oh.
have I not always used some magic?
You've always used magic, and then I was like, hey, battle axe.
And it was amazing, and I would never.
oh, yeah, it's fun.
Battle Axe is great. I would never go
She's
back.
just running. She's like, the way she plays Skyrim is like, we're going down a rabbit hole. The way she plays Skyrim is like stupidly quick. Like she'll just sprint through everything and just like hack
It
and
took me
slash and
6
keep
minutes to get from
running. She's just like
the
little
the-
like tiny character, like
the
this like
start
Khajiit just
of
like
the
running
game where
through.
you
It's
stand up
like,
after you get
just
your
fucking
almost get your head
slashing away.
cut up. From the part of that to the time I got out of the keep,
Mhm.
I took 6 minutes.
You literally broke the game at one point.
I did. I went
Oh,
so
nah,
I went so
you're not
fast.
supposed to be moving this
You know
quick.
that
Yeah, she went
one
so fast. The dude that was like you're supposed to lead, that is leading
He
you
got
through
caught
the
behind
thing.
like
Yeah.
a thing that like collapsed. He got caught behind it and never came out of the keep with me. And I
She
broke
had to
the
just
game.
like go through the game until the game was like, oh shit, we gotta catch up.
And like I don't
explore.
I don't
Dragon.
Because that whole
We got other elements here.
that whole first part until after you fight the first dragon, I drown. And the way that I do it is I leave the keep, I go straight to Riverwood, I get the quest from the guy for the claw, I go to Bleak, I give him the claw, and then I go,
back. Whoa, hold up, you skipped a step. Steal it back.
okay.
Sell
Yeah,
them.
I always steal everything.
I
I
gotta-
steal everything.
I got a
That's
house
my
in the,
thief thing. I just turn invisible.
There's
Thank
a-
you.
there's
Made
a,
it one
The
thing.
one magic, but there's the pacify thing that is an alteration or whatever. I just walk in with I was like, hey, calm down. I'm sitting down. I'm fine. You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm listening.
We have gone too down.
yeah, there's a house in the Creation Club there that has a yeah. We like
We're here
Skyrim.
now.
Everybody likes Skyrim. There's a house in the Creation Club that is like right outside of Whiterun that has like a trophy room in the basement that has like spots for all the claws.
Huh.
You gotta steal that shit back. Yeah. It's real nice. Yeah, it's real nice.
So,
Spots for all.
It's got spots for the claws, all like the Dragon Priest masks, all that shit.
Huh.
do you have any final thoughts on
Yeah, let's
James
go back
Gunn?
to this. Let's
Well,
get into this rabbit hole.
Boy, James Gunn, I'm glad that he, hooray for DC, you know? Hooray for DC. Hopefully he makes like
Blue for
something
Marvel.
good. I
Yeah,
want a
that's
really good.
that's the biggest fuck up Disney's had so far because Disney is not the type of
Disney's the gold.
they are not the
Disney
type of
does no wrong.
Disney's fine. Disney is not the type of people who should go around saying, "Hey, what you did in the past is kind of fucked up."
Yeah.
definitely.
So-
not.
Yeah, because I mean, the big
Yeah.
lip watermelon spitting cartoons for the
Or
James Gunn's like, so like on Twitter, I made
Peter
a
Pan.
joke 7 years ago. So
Where
you
they're
can bring
singing
up
about
shit
the Red
70
Man.
years ago.
exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of this,
Now,
that's
there was a
another
rumor.
rabbit hole.
Yeah,
there
that's
was
a
a
whole
rumor
thing.
that I don't know, but Henry Cavill would be doing the James Bond movies from now after.
Yo, that'd be
The
dope.
Face.
I'd be cool with that. Actually.
I would be cool with that as well. I think he would fit the part better.
And on the Henry
He's full of
Cavill
shit.
situation, I'm just like, honestly, I'm with it. I'm ready to see The Witcher. I'm sad that he's gone from Superman.
Yeah, Superman's
because out
your
of all
favorite
the
DC hero.
Yeah, Superman's my favorite hero. And it's like out of all the Supermans that I've watched, I feel as though he's been the best so far. And Man of Steel was good to me.
Yeah.
His parts in Superman v Batman or Justice League were good to me. Like, I thought Justice League sucked until he came back. And it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I don't know. It sucks to see him gone, but I understand his take either. I'm not just going to keep being in movies. And then when they come out, everybody calls him shit. And then it's like, yo, why'd you leave? Well, you didn't like the movie. Like, what am I going to keep on be here for? So it's like, I understand his departure. Like,
Good luck
do
to
your
you, man.
thing, man. Make me
As
play
long
The
as we
Witcher.
still have Ben Affleck. Wait, what?
I don't know. It looked like he's stepping out the door too.
He was gone 4 times before now, and
You know what's so ugly is that they're trying to make their money back from all this stuff like that. Like from all this stuff that people are leaving roles and they're still just pushing out other people's solo movies. Like they're still like one big group. Like
That's what I'm
Aquaman
saying.
comes out
That's
really
what I'm
soon.
saying.
And it's like, what are you?
which that
Who cares
fucking trailer
about-
is garbage. But that's
Who
a whole
cares
different
about
rabbit hole. That's a whole different rabbit
They got to start over.
They just need to recast everybody.
hole. All right,
Restart the
Forgot
DC
about
universe.
Chris Hemsworth.
that's still a movie that's coming out, and apparently Steve Trevor's in it. And I don't get why, because it's in the 80s. So I don't get how.
He
Time
might not
travel.
be dead.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. Maybe
Where'd
it's
he go?
Cap. But like, I get that. But the thing is that I don't know. I think didn't they kind of foreshadow to a sense of like maybe he wasn't dead somewhere in Justice League? Like I remember Batman brought her.
He brought him up, but that was just to be like, "Hey, Wonder Woman." Sorry, and
Yeah,
it's like a real smart ass way because Batman's a. All right, this is a different rabbit hole.
All right. So, do you want to go next? Or you want me to go
Sure.
next?
Okay.
Let's get into games now. Now that we've talked about games for a
yeah.
while, let's
We've,
get into games.
we've talked about movies for about 30 minutes. Let's talk
Um,
about the more important
more
category.
important things. All right. So, have you guys ever played like any like straight up horror game?
Okay.
I am
played,
petrified of everything.
that free one that came on the PlayStation. Me, you, and Matt, we played it at his house. Was it PT?
Oh, the thing. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so
creep.
I am not a huge fan of horror games because I'm a bitch. The only one I've ever played, even a little bit, and this is actually the only one I've ever beaten, was the first Outlast.
Okay. That
Which
was good and
Yeah.
no bad.
It
Ugh,
was
scary. But
Crazy.
like then it's funny because the horror games they do very well like on Twitch and like
People, especially now, this month.
they do as well as like Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, was top game on Twitch for about a week. And then you have Visage and Conjuring House come out, and they were easily top 10 for like a week. And it would fluctuate depending on the time of day you'd watch it, but like, so they're up there, and they're really good games. They're quick in a sense, but I'm always wondering why no one ever makes a co-op experience with that. Because it's hilarious to watch the Twitch people play it, and they're like screaming and stuff.
And everyone
But,
else
like,
is like reacting.
Yeah, but like, why not have, a co-op thing? Like, that wouldn't be hard to do, Hey, you're doing this together, but someone's got to do this, and someone's got to go do this.
Like
Exactly.
split screen?
Because
Well, you could split screen, but nowadays everything's online, so it'd be probably.
yeah,
I feel like
I mean,
there
you
is something
got a
like
point
that.
because sidebar, to bring it back, but like the Friday the 13th game that they just made free for PlayStation 4. If I was sitting in my house, I would never click that icon on my system ever. But when I was playing with you the other night, it was fun, and it was fun playing with people and stuff like that. And
Yo,
it's
don't
like,
even get me
yo,
started, man.
I mean, I had to do what I had to do. But that game is fun, so I definitely see it.
Yeah, like that's a thrillerish game, you know. It's like play for fun and stuff. Visage and stuff is straight like scary, like just it's meant to scare you. But like yeah, those like the Friday the 13th is good. Dead by Daylight, which is again more thrillerish. You get once you play those games enough though, you get used to whatever. It's when you just playing with the player. But like Visage and Conjuring House is like a scary game. I think like I'm not sure why no one has ever tried to at least do a 2-player thing. I'm not asking for 3 or 4, but
I
at
feel
least
like
a 2-player thing.
I feel like just a 2-player co-op type thing, either whether it's like couch co-op or like online, would probably work a little better.
It would
than most, because I mean like the Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th are essentially kind of the same game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they're afraid of everybody making things like competitions now. Like, it's like the craziest and the stupidest games, and this is another rabbit hole, sorry, but like the craziest and the stupidest things in games are becoming like competitions now that people want to see. Like,
I got it.
When there was no competition, people were like, all right, how fast can I play this game?
Exactly, and that's what I feel as though maybe that's why they're not going to do it, because it's going to turn into that. You're going to see people on Twitch be like, watch us go through the Conjuring House in 15 minutes. And it's like, yo, come on, you're taking the fun out of it. Exactly. Like, they're not even jumping anymore. It's just like, coming out now. Guys behind me. Open the key.
The funny thing is, and not even people that have played through those games, but like, a lot of the top streamers you'd watch, they don't even like react. Like they'll be playing it, something scary will happen. Like the one part, this first spoiler alert for the Conjuring House, or whatever it's called, was like crawling through the underneath these floorboards, but it was kind of a path you had to do to get to this body that was literally there. So you came in this one way, crawled around. Once you got to the body, it like got dragged out the thing. Not sure how. It just moved by itself. Gone. Some streamers just like, okay. I was freaking like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have any reaction. It's so boring to watch.
Because they probably waited until the game came out that first day. They probably did like 3 playthroughs of it. Probably. So they were like used to what was going to happen. Oh, yeah. So that they're not on.
But then you got some of them that are like, "Oh, this is my first time playing it." It could be. If they lie.
I wasn't there with you all day.
But it's true, but you ain't acting like it. You know what I mean? Like that same part when you're crawling through, someone's like hand breaks through the floorboard, like grabs the rat right in front of you. Like,
because here's the thing: if I ever had to play a horror game, like the first thing that scared me, I'd turn off my system, I'd close. I'd go home. I would leave the building instead.
Like when I played PT.
Sorry guys, I'm no longer.
When I woke up in that room, and this
put out a tweet. Hey
when
guys.
I woke up in that room in PT, I was like, "This is my poop bucket.
Yep.
This is my table. I eat and sleep here. I'm not walking through that door."
Walking through the door. That was the very beginning. They're like, walk through the door. I was like, no.
That's exactly the reason I can't play horror games. It's like, at least with movies, like horror movies, I don't particularly enjoy, but like it moves at a pace where it's like, we're dragging you along. You're going to do this whether you like it or not. Exactly. With a game, it's like, all right, we'll wait.
Well, that's
exactly. Like Dead Space. I remember the first time I played Dead Space, put it in or whatever and stuff like that. I can't remember. This was like years ago. But I remember it started with a bunch of commotion happening and stuff like that, and I had to pick up a gun and do whatever and shoot and stuff. And then somebody got like destroyed, dragged, and then went down the room, and they was like, walk through that hallway. And I was like, no! I was like, I would stay right here. Matter of fact, I just got some pizza. We'll wait on this together.
I never would have played Dead Space 3, but it was co-op. And it was co-op. It was on,
Fear 3 was too.
Yeah, it's on,
I didn't play the single
but Fear 3 was kind of like,
Origin. It was on Origin, and they had Origin. You pay like $5 a month to play whatever games were in their vault. And it was in the vault, and I was like, "All right, Joe, let's play this game." I would have never played it if it wasn't co-op. So that's the thing. Like a lot of people, and that's the thing. What I think the difference between horror movies and horror games is games. Like they give you a choice. It's like, hey, go down there. It's like, this is me, so no, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? But movies, it's like, oh, that's that character. They doing what they want to do. You can't stop that. So, you know, games is like that you have a choice. And if I have the choice, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So movies is
even
different.
Want to be here.
But if
they made why I'm playing this.
Yeah, if they made the game co-op, I would definitely play
rock, paper, scissors to see who goes.
Who's going down this hallway, my guy?
Then you and that other person, you're doing it together, so you're not like just sitting
Yeah.
somewhere by yourself, like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what's gonna happen?
Exactly.
It's you're on a spooky journey.
Spooky journey.
Oh,
Spooky
so-
journey.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they have the co-op thing. I mean, and the different than the I feel like the replayability would go up as well because okay, I can play through the game with Dom, I can play through the game with you, so I played through it twice. You've only done it once, but if Seth wants to play, I'll go through it with you, and then now I'm playing
Because now
with
it's
somebody
different
else.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I mean, I don't get it.
That would be a really good idea, actually. That'd be really
Like
cool.
if the size was
All right.
co-op,
It was like, I only played, the one time I played through Dead Space 3, I played it by myself. I didn't play with anybody else. Because I heard it was more of a shooter than the other ones, and the other two
That's
were
kind of how
shit
Fear
enemy.
3 was. Fear 1 and 2 was like really like scary. Fear 3 was like you could be Call of Duty sidekick guy.
That's what I noticed about a lot of games started going towards, especially I think it was the Evil Within, I think it was the Evil Within, maybe the first one. It was one of the games I was actually excited for, but then it was like, you have guns. I was like,
Yes.
so that's not
Yeah,
scary.
yeah,
I am
just shoot
protected.
whatever
Exactly.
comes out.
Like, the scariest things are the ones where you're like amnesia.
Amnesia, and even Outlast was like, Outlast,
Outlast,
was
yeah,
like,
you didn't have a gun.
where like, you probably put the camera down, but he's just like walking around with a camera that you
oh my
fucking
god.
time.
I just can't do
Oh,
horror
my
games. They scare me. So you're not in the part in Infinite where, like, spoiler alert, you're in an insane asylum with all
Yes.
those dudes with like the president heads.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
not do that. That scared the crap out of me, and I was like, I don't want to play
The
this
first
anymore.
Bioshock, Infinite didn't really do it for me.
I couldn't-
The second one was
I
okay.
could
The
not-
first Bioshock scared, even today.
I couldn't
scares
even
the
play
shit
it.
out
I
of me.
got to the part where you get out of the like that little pod that you're in. I said, nope, it's too dark. I don't like the colors. This is a horror game. I'm done. Turned it off and I could not do it.
Katie walked out of the pod and goes, I don't like the color of that rug, and just shuts it off.
I did not like the coloring. It was dark, and I did not know. I was like, this is giving
No,
me
yeah.
anxiety to play this.
The music that's in the game, it makes it scarier. I like that type of music, like the 40s type of swing, like jazz. Like,
freaked
it's
me out,
good.
man. I was
I
not
love
playing
it. But, like, that added with, like, just, like, the darkness of, like, the first Bioshock is terrifying.
And it's really sad because, like, I love the first time I ever played Infinite when I didn't know, like, exactly what, like, the storyline. I can't play it now because it hurts my brain thinking about the
I tried to play
storyline.
this once.
I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
but it hurts my brain to think about it, so I just can't play. But I loved it. It was like my favorite, like one of my favorites. It was up there. And then I tried to play the first one. I said,
I have the remastered collection on my PlayStation if you want it.
no, thank you.
Oh man. So next, what would it be?
Oh, it's me.
Go ahead.
It's me. We didn't do final thoughts for you.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, I got
for
any-
the horror
Have you
games?
played
Yeah, I agree.
those two games you brought up? Have you played those?
I didn't. Visage is like $20. It's in early access, which is still good. It's
I
just
don't-
like things $20. Contra
Early
Cost-
access is basically just like it's out.
Yeah. Well, then that's the whole thing.
Everyone does early
Everyone-
access.
Man, Fortnite. You know, and here's what's funny.
Fortnite's still in early
Rust
access.
Here's what's,
So is
here's
Rust.
what's funny. Here's what's funny.
That's not very
Fortnite is finished. Any bugs they get, they fix quick.
Yeah.
Your game is done.
Yeah.
Take early access off. A lot of people use it to be like, it's in early access, that's why this is a problem. And
Like
it's like,
Rust.
we get it, you don't really want
No,
to fix
your
your
games-
bugs, or you want to give an excuse for you having these bugs.
Yeah.
But Fortnite is actually on top of their shit, so it's like,
People are doing whole
take
time.
it off, you know what I mean?
Winning
I
millions of
watched
dollars.
watched someone win $250,000 the other day in a Fortnite tournament. Your game
Where
is
did
done.
those come
Yeah.
from?
Your game is done.
Hold on, wait.
This might be pictures from yesterday or today or something.
So,
But yeah, I don't know.
so
That's
they
a
were-
whole. That's a whole different.
that's a whole
different-
early access.
Yeah,
stuff.
because
But
that does make me mad too.
Yeah, and the fidelity of these games is great. Like the visuals aren't necessarily that hard to create. And like in Visage, you can tell that's been made in like Google SketchUp or like something that was or Maya. It was really like getting those assets isn't really that difficult because they're not very custom. Like they probably exist already. You just kind of polish them up, find the proper licensings if they are free to use or whatever like that. Or if they're cheap, you can buy them or whatever to make your game. So like they're made, they look really good, and they're simple mechanics, walk around, light, stuff like that. So these games don't necessarily take that long to build. So it's like, it's still got a little experience in there.
I forgot that you like work on games and stuff like that. So.
I know what I have my green on.
They can put me on.
I'm ready.
So what you got?
All right. Have you all seen the leak of the new Harry Potter game that is a possible
I did.
Well,
For
the sake-
sit on them.
For the sake of conversation, I'm gonna say no, I haven't.
So what happened is this guy posted a video of, like, it looked like him playing a RPG Harry Potter game, which he got from a focus group that he did. So, in the video, hold on, I had this up, but,
It was on
Yeah.
Reddit, right?
no, I think he posted it on YouTube, and then they took it off of YouTube,
Yeah.
but then someone mirrored it and put it back up.
Gotcha.
So it's up there for you to see, and it actually looks really freaking good. On like the description that was used is set in the 19th century Wizarding World. The third-person open-world action RPG game centers around your character with unique abilities, who has, I don't even know what that word is.
Oh no. Sound it out.
What is that?
Sound it
Oh,
out.
that's eared.
It's what?
The word is eared.
I'm gonna take this.
Just read it.
Weird.
No, it's eared. It's definitely eared. Anyway, so they got a late acceptance to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You are a newly arrived 5th year student to Hogwarts that demonstrate a latent gift for magic with unique ability to track and identify remnants of a potent ancient power.
Oh, so you're like not playing as any main character?
No,
Oh, that's
you're not.
interesting. Yeah, so it's definitely an RPG.
From what she told me, I think it was you that told me, is it's actually, it takes place in like the 18th century. Like,
Yeah,
the 1800s.
I just read that.
Yeah.
I-
So it's like,
But-
it's before everything.
Gotcha.
Like even the new movies that are coming out now, it's
And
before.
so if this, I mean, no one's come out and like officially announced this yet,
Uh-huh.
so who really knows what it is? I hope it's real, and the only thing that I don't like about it is that you're a 5th year student. If I wish I started out as the beginning and like grew my own character.
Yeah.
I mean, because you
I
get
mean,
to,
if you're a 5th year student and don't know how to use spells, like I'm pretty sure you won't have to.
I like the idea of you going in there and be like, you go in there like everyone's doing like some of that like Dragon Ball Z type magic like at the end of the Harry Potter series, where like they're like doing like the blast classes and shit. You
I've
just
never
go in
seen
there and be
Harry
like,
Potter.
how do magic? Like,
but like I think that would be cool. So I guess what I hope is,
She
have you
looked
guys
at me
played?
like a heathen. Okay. You've never seen Harry Potter. You what?
Oh, he told you to get out earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But have you guys like played the app? Like they came out with an
Oh my
app
God.
a little while ago, and it was okay.
it was
'Cause
good until it's like, so you can either wait a day
Yeah,
to not die, or you can pay to not die.
yeah, it's just like one of
Wait,
those where you have to
what?
do like the energies and
Yeah, it's like a gotcha game in a sense.
yeah. So like but you start out as a first year, and then like you go to class but it's kind of like, have y'all ever seen like how like the Kim Kardashian's game is played, like the energies? I don't know why.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's like that-
I played other games like
Yeah.
similar games.
Yeah, it's that
They call
same
it
sort of-
stamina or whatever.
Yeah,
like
that same sort of energy thing. But I just hope that it's real. 'Cause it looks good.
If it's real,
And
it's
you-
gonna be dope.
So it's like, okay,
And you can,
so
like-
how a 5th year student? How long do you go to Hogwarts for? I don't remember. 5 years.
No, you go to 12 years.
12 years.
No,
I don't
dude.
know.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
So you're like, almost,
Was you a sophomore?
But
Almost a junior? Or
you
something
get to like create your own character, and like you get to pick between like the dark and the light side and what type of magic you want to use.
It said there were like
Alright.
classes and shit too. So there were like, it's gonna be like just enormous replayability for them.
Yeah, it looks really good, but the only thing that I wish it started you out in the beginning, so you kind of get the full like Hogwarts experience that everyone.
Yeah. I guess it would be weird if you're a 5th year student and you get in the game. Trying to find the mess hall. I've been here for 4 years. If I don't know what that is, like, trying to find it. You know, they're going to send you around everywhere so you know where things are, but it's kind of like, if you think about it in the sense of the lore and the story, if I'm a 5th year student, I don't know where the
You up
bathrooms
there.
are, then like,
You've been here before. You just don't remember this.
exactly.
The only thing
Partying
is
at Hogwarts
I was
is a lot.
talking to one of my friends at work. It's like, well, I hope you can like connect it to like your Pottermore account, so you still like had your like ceremony and you know what house you're in, and then your the other thing.
I really hope it doesn't let people choose their house, if anything.
Yeah, I hope.
It should just
It
be
should be
like,
random.
it should either be random or it should be a quiz
I-
and you cannot.
Well, the quiz,
quiz is still
then you can be like, okay, what answers I
Yeah.
gotta pick to get the Gryffindor? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a good
I get
point.
that out of you.
That's a good I don't want to be.
But here's the thing. If
the
it was-
sorting hat will choose.
Speaking of,
How about that?
do you know which house you are?
For me, I was what is it? Gryffindor, Slytherin.
Hufflepuff.
I think
Ravenclaw.
I was Hufflepuff.
I'm a
Hey.
Hufflepuff, and
Hey.
if it was random, and if I wasn't in Hufflepuff, I would restart until I got Hufflepuff.
You would?
I would, because I'm not. I'm
What
not
is a
the
Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff is like the people who are just like they're just
Okay.
Yeah.
they're just
Gryffindors are like the
What was Harry from?
Here's the thing,
Gryffindor.
like
Slytherin are
Gryffindor
all
is
pieces
just
of
mean.
Slytherin are all the people that wish they were in Gryffindor. Gryffindor are all people that are like, yes, we in
weird,
Gryffindor.
'cause you got Ravenclaw, who I'm still not sure what they're doing.
They're
Ravenclaw is like the smart.
Ravenclaw is the
They're like
smart one.
dark though. Kind of.
Hufflepuff is the creative one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing about Gryffindor is just that you're brave. So they say that like Harry should have been in Slytherin, but because he's brave, he's in Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Hermione should have been in Ravenclaw, but because she's brave, she's in Gryffindor. Ron should have been in Hufflepuff, but because he's brave, he's in Gryffindor.
And I get it. I'm not brave. Look, Voldemort tiptoeing them Jordans. I'm not fucking with that.
Tiptoeing them
I'm not, he got no nose. I don't want to know what he did. I'm going back to
Can't
class.
even smell fear.
Exactly.
Peace out.
Later,
But
you survived again.
So as someone who doesn't like really know anything about Harry Potter, was that something?
No, not at all. Because I mean, that's just like no.
No, if I want to play a Skyrim type game, I play Skyrim.
Yeah.
I play Skyrim.
It's like, I don't know. There's nothing about Harry Potter that's ever interesting. That's the reason why I play it. It's just
But if it was like, okay, so if it wasn't about Harry Potter,
like it's not about
It's
Harry
just
Potter. It's just
the
you.
world
You
in
are a
general.
wizard.
Yeah.
Like you are a wizard.
but
there you go.
But I'm a wizard in Skyrim.
We've come full circle.
Well, when this article
Everything
came
leads
out,
back to Skyrim.
when this article came out, I was like, man, like there's no reason that they shouldn't make more open world games. And you know what they should make open world? Pokemon. They
We're
should
not
make.
gonna get into that though, but yes.
Yes.
They should definitely make.
You know where I think
That's what the next one's
you go
gonna
to
be.
rabbit hole. You go to rabbit hole.
The next one's gonna be like that next year. It has to.
They haven't.
Well, you say it has to be, but we got the Spider-Man
You can't
pictures
go-
of it.
You can't go
Maybe
through
we're
like
way down there.
you can't go through
I
like
ain't playing Pokemon in Kanto.
the ones that
I'm
are.
getting it. I have it pre-ordered.
She
I'm
has it
ready.
ready to go. I'm gonna watch it fucking. It's co-op too, so I'm playing it with you.
All right.
It's gonna be dope.
Is it on Switch or something?
It's on
Yeah.
Switch. Yeah, I have it
And it's
pre-ordered.
like
I got
it looks
Eevee.
great. It looks
But
like
Smash.
The one thing that I don't like about it is that your starter Pokemon does not evolve, which is fine because
What do
it's
you mean?
based
Like
off
your
of
Pikachu?
yellow. Your
Yeah, your
Pikachu
Pikachu
or
or
your
your
Eevee does not evolve. But I'm like, really?
the
You have
entire
to start with Pikachu or Eevee or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
because it's
Oh, then
basically
I'm gonna pick.
it's basically a remake of
Yellow.
it's basically a remake
And
of Yellow.
the Pikachu in Yellow does not evolve. But here's my thing. I'm just gonna transfer my Eevee from Go
Yeah.
and evolve that.
Oh, you can actually.
Yeah, you can transfer.
The I'm
Pokemon.
pretty sure the entire game is
Oh.
just a way to get.
Then yes, I am playing that one. I have so many
Give Switch.
Pokemon to go.
Tom's
You playing
like,
Go?
Give
No,
Switch.
but I'm buying Switch when Smash.
Tom's like, I went to California all from the safety of my job.
I think
Yeah.
Pokemon Go would
Super
have been.
happy.
I don't know. I haven't played it since
I never
it
had the
came
game.
out.
I promise.
Yeah, so they still haven't added like battles and stuff like that.
Not
You
really.
can trade.
You can trade
Let's
now.
trade it. So that's why I think they dropped the ball. Like
It could have been.
all this stuff should have been out.
Yeah.
How many Pokemon games are out before
They're
Go
just
was?
now releasing Gen 4
Like
Pokemon.
how? How?
I don't know.
It didn't
That'll
make
be
no
another
sense.
topic for another
The
video
entire-
on how we
yeah,
can fix
gosh.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
We can actually
I'm
record
pretty.
that
I'm,
next.
I'm gonna leave it. I'm pretty sure Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu are literally just ways to get people.
I think so, but I'm not gonna
I'm just
play
gonna
Go.
leave it.
What's
I'm
Let's
not-
Go
I'm not
Eevee?
gonna- That's the
The
new
ones
game.
that are coming out.
But here's the thing: I am getting Eevee, but I'm not playing Go. I'm gonna play the game as the game is. I'm not getting Go because here's the thing: I play Go.
What if you playing the Switch and you at work and your boss like, yo,
Wait,
there's
so
a
you don't
Raikou
have
out here, you
Pokemon
know
Go?
what I'm saying? I'm not opening my app. I'm not doing it.
You don't have Pokemon Go on your
No, I deleted it.
We downloaded it a couple months ago. Played it for a day and then stopped.
Here's the thing, though.
I just
I don't want
re-downloaded
to
it
play
just
a
for that
Pokemon game and then me just be able to put whatever Pokemon I really want in there. Because then here we go. I come up to good old Brock, and I'm like, you know what? I don't like you, Brock, even though I only got an Eevee, a Metapod, and a Pidgey. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Brock ain't gonna see this Dragonite coming from my Pokemon.
And I'm like, you know what?
He's gonna open his eyes.
You're a brand new trainer. It's like
Dragonite.
you're I was like, I'm a brand new trainer. Go YouTube.
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would take away from so much of the experience for me to just put in whatever Pokemon I want.
I assume it probably
Please don't
would.
take that away from me.
It probably
I love cheating.
because, like, I mean, like
Oh, I love cheating as well.
in the
but
new,
Grand Theft Auto just to cheat.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
in the older games though, it's like because like you can only do. I remember in Gen 4, that was the gen I played the most. My favorite. Like in the end, after you beat the Elite Four and stuff, there's a thing called Pal Park that opens. That
yes, I
you can,
remember
like,
that.
Yeah, you can put like your Game Boy Advance games into the other part of the DS and then bring Pokemon over. So something like that probably wouldn't be until like endgame stuff.
Well, it didn't say that. It just says you can.
That is true. It's just like bring the whole fucking party. Who cares? Like,
All right.
Rabbit
Do we have
hole
any
Bring
final
your
thoughts
7
on
views.
the Harry Potter game?
I don't know. I hope it's not too, because I think every Harry Potter game we've had has been kind of childish in a sense.
Yeah.
I hope it's kind of.
Did you
like-
play the app?
I didn't play the app, no. But I played. You played the Lego ones. Obviously, those are Lego ones.
Quidditch
Then they
games.
had they had like the other ones for I think PlayStation 2. And but so I hope this one's more like
And it's not.
mature in a
Yeah.
sense. You know what I mean?
And I'm really glad it's not centered around the main
Yeah,
three.
and I think that might. I mean, and that opens up for them to be like, hey, make
Like,
this
kinda
world
different,
existed
you know what
before
I mean?
all of that.
We can make this kind of different, kind of good. It doesn't have to portray that same youthfulness.
that's what they
I
did
guess
with the
you'll say.
app too. Because in the app, it starts off like saying like Harry Potter was just like saved from Voldemort.
Mhm.
So they're not in the app.
Okay.
So I think what they're like, it looks like what they're trying to do is maybe set up a world in which they don't exist. Because I mean, they've really, they've drawn out their
Milk
story
that,
so
yeah.
much
Mhm.
that maybe they want to like come out with more movies, but with different people, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Same
I mean,
world, different
I mean, those new.
Maybe
Well,
they
they've done
should've
that
just called
with,
Harry Potter something else instead of
Harry
Fantastic Beasts.
They probably
They
call
have
it like
done
the
that,
Wizarding
but-
World or something. Fantastic Beasts apparently aren't that like the movies.
I've never seen any of the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
I will never see one of those.
They only have.
You don't like the world.
They've got-
Yeah,
well, they have
I mean,
two, I
well, I
think.
don't like the world
I
because
think
of
they have
Harry.
two, and the third
It's like
one's getting
I
ready
haven't
to come
given
out.
anything
I think-
else
I
a
could be
chance,
wrong.
really.
Oh.
But it's
I
like,
think they have two.
plus when I was growing up, my stepmom, don't play that in my house. I'm not watching it anyway. Like, my rebellion hadn't kicked in yet, and where it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it just because you said I can't. It was
Do you have any final thoughts?
I'll probably play it. I'm a sucker for a good RPG.
If it's $60, I'll watch Seth play it.
And then your final thoughts are just peace out with it.
Hey.
If I get it, you get it for
Wizards.
free. Are you buying it?
Wizards of Waverly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll download it.
Like if I buy it
Yeah.
and you can get it for free, do you still want it?
I'm done.
Are you still gonna play it?
I don't know. Depends on what monster had come out yet on Monster Hunter.
I feel you.
Monster Hunter in 2021 is
Ziggurat coming out, boys.
Wait.
Right.
They're on the medium cups? They're not on the large cups, they're on the
Yeah,
medium
Yeah,
cups.
they say that.
Oh, the McDonald's.
I'm
little
mad.
thing.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not getting a medium cup because they're all $1. I'm just gonna love it. Okay. All right.
Oh man, so like
Yeah.
open discussion just about like different things that you're like watching and playing now.
Yeah.
I know one thing on Netflix for me. Sorry, people, I'm a little hipster on what I watch. I'm watching season 2 of Big Mouth right now.
Oh my god.
Honestly, the only thing I feel as though shows got to do this, what I'm about to explain a little more.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's like, all right, same thing for Stranger Things too. I feel as though if you have a show that maybe you just don't understand the confidence behind it now. When you put it out, you have to be preparing for your next go round. Because that fall time wait, it has killed so many things for me personally that I watched. The Walking Dead, like
I
after
recorded it. Have not
You
watched
know,
it.
Exactly.
they haven't
After
even started
getting-
filming season 3 of Stranger Things yet. Like, they're still trying to cast
and
people.
exactly, and that's what I'm
They're
saying.
having
Like,
issues casting people.
and exactly, it's just like
Oh, yeah.
like all this thing, and they're like
I'm
bringing
trying to
back
get
the
them to
Big
do it.
Mouth.
They
It
need
was like
marching band people.
during the time of me watching Big Mouth, I don't know, you can call it the immaturity or whatever and stuff like that. That show was hilarious, and that thing was booming. And I don't think they expected it to take off the way it did, and they weren't. To me, I don't think they were prepared for that. I don't have any facts of this, but like So now coming around to the second season, me watching it, it took me 3 episodes for me to find it funny again. Because it was like, for the first 3 episodes, it was just like, why am I watching these kids like talk about sex in very gross ways?
A lot of
just
shows that
like
I watch though are
like
like that though.
Yeah.
Like it takes me at least 3 episodes to like a show. Like when I started watching like One Punch Man, I hated episode 1, I hated episode 2.
But was it the first time watching it?
It was the first time watching
Yeah,
it.
the thing is that
They just told me that before. I'm like, I don't know how.
Like I've watched the first season all the way through. And
Yeah.
I thought off rip, I was like, this is
From episode
it's
1,
so
you liked
funny.
it?
Yeah, but the thing is that it took half a year for them to put out season 2.
Yeah,
So
it's too
starting
long.
season 2, it was kind of like, I kind of forgot how the last one ended, so I had to go back and watch a couple of those episodes, and then starting it again, it was just kind of like, oh man, these kids are just talking
That's
about
exactly-
sex. Because my headspace is just not there anymore.
Mhm.
It was like, this thing has gone, and I don't want it to go.
If any of
Like,
us at this
come
point
and
are
go,
thinking
but it's
about
just like-
puberty, then some of us have problems.
Yeah, and it was just, I don't
That's
know, it took a minute for it to get funny again
Mm-hmm.
for me. So I feel as though they should work on that. But season 2 of Big Mouth, funny again, finally. And Netflix, I'm not sure, this probably went really under the radar, and I hope it hasn't been on here long because I don't want it to go away. Netflix has these documentaries out about like different time periods, and it's literally just like 6-part or 7-part episodes that are like a little over an hour long, but just different things that happened during that time period.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm watching the 70s, and they had a different thing. So they like, right now, the first episode was all about television and how that started up, the whole swing of television in the 70s and the different shows that were coming in. And then the next episode was like the Richard Nixon versus United States Watergate crisis. And it basically just talks about different things in that era. And it's like, I'm watching the 70s one now, and it's like, oh man, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy for a lot of things. Like people were just like blasted like nigger and like in episodes and stuff like that. But it's like dope to just see that time period. So once I found out it was stuff like that, of course, I really just want to see the 90s because I can remember things in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like treating myself to it. So I'm watching 70s and then I'm going to watch 80s and then I'm going to treat myself with 90s. But I hope it hasn't been on here. Yeah. I hope it hasn't been on here so long that it's just like by the time you get to the 90s, it's just like whip it off, throw up some more stuff. So it's just like, I don't know. So if y'all haven't seen that, definitely go watch that. And for games, I played Monster. I'm gonna kill monsters until I die.
I'm not gonna say anything about you still playing Monster Hunter because when we get around. What?
I mean, I've been playing Skyrim for 7 years now.
You and I are finding new things to do with Skyrim.
Yeah.
So, like a new way to play Skyrim, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm mad. I'm mad at Bethesda because here's the thing. I get it. You have other things that you have to give out. But it's been 7 years, and now you're telling me I have to wait another 3 to 4 years? I'm not waiting 11 years for another Elder Scrolls game. I'm about to go.
It's gonna be so good.
No.
Is it though? I mean, it better be.
So
But here's the thing, they
better
have.
be.
You say that it's going to be so good, but it's not like they've been working on it for that period of time. They're not even.
Well, they have.
I'm gonna say
Oh,
something very
stuff.
unpopular, probably, but I don't really fool with the Fallout series.
I don't either. I don't
Wow.
either. I don't.
Just simply because of the whole. Again, it's Skyrim with guns, but at the same time, I'm using a gun.
But, see,
There's
I
no
like,
real difference there. If you get it, like
I like
a
the
bow
fantasy.
playthrough is different than a magic playthrough, different than a melee playthrough. Those are two different things. I mean, there's different guns. Sure, I killed this guy with a rocket launcher real quick. Yeah, I killed him with an LMG, but the thing was the same. You kind of did the
I
same
like
thing.
the fantasy aspect of Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Fallout, but I think
I could be down for 76 though. I've heard good
Yeah,
things about it.
76
It's different
as-
where it's multiplayer.
yeah.
See, you and me are kind of the opposite. You really like the Elder Scrolls a lot, and I mean, I like both series.
If someone told me to give away my firstborn or play the Elder Scrolls all early, like right now, I'd give away my firstborn.
That's why we're not having kids.
Oh,
So like, I like the kind of like post-apocalyptic aesthetic of Fallout, and like the lore.
It's so dull.
As much
The
as
colors.
yeah,
And I feel like it's not that it doesn't go with the world, but
Yeah.
a lot of games will make a
And it's-
post-apocalyptic game to kind of give an excuse to not make a very interesting world. In a sense, like everything will be pretty much copy paste with the colors and trees because it's supposed to be. It's nuclear and stuff like that, which I get and I'm not mad at, but it's kind of like.
see, that's where I think Fallout kind of like steps up just the lore, in my opinion, is so good. As much as it's starting to crumble now because you've got different teams working on it. Apparently, there's stuff coming out from Fallout 76 that doesn't really add up to their actual timeline, but it's a whole different story.
Oh yeah, they said that.
Yeah,
I read an article.
apparently I read it and it got me mad, but I'm not going to get into that. But like, it's just, I just prefer the lore in Fallout. I know a lot about lore in Elder Scrolls.
We talked about that on
Yeah.
like date number 2, and you were like, "Holy crap, she knows what she's talking about."
And I know a lot
And he
about
was
Elder
like,
Scrolls.
he's like, "I know you're probably sick of hearing me talk about these towers." I'm like, "No, talk about these towers. I don't care."
Yeah, on our second date, I was just naming like fucking fan theories for Elder Scrolls 6, and she was just like, "I'm all about it."
Let's go.
But like, but yeah,
The thing that I don't really mess with Fallout. Let me tell you why. So you're telling me you got this giant floating
yeah, I guess.
robot butler.
Let's do Metal Gear next.
You have this giant floating robot butler, but your TV is thicker.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a 50s aesthetic, but like if the
It's high-tech,
style of
but
the
it's not
50s
high-tech.
went into the future, and I love that.
No, I don't
It's
like
so
that.
fucking cool.
I don't like that. You can't be high tech and low tech at the same time.
Okay,
if
have
you're-
you? I'm gonna kind of get into the topic that Dom was starting to going around like saying stuff we've watched because it actually has to pertain to that. Has anyone here seen Maniac on Netflix?
No, I heard it was bad.
It's a great fucking show. All right, it's a great fucking show. And
I had
they,
it
like,
on my list.
the kind of world that they live in is like you would never know until it gets to one certain point. But like everything looks normal. Like it looks like 2018.
Yeah.
And then like you get into like the main character's apartment. He's got this like giant like it's obviously like it looks like an old like 2000 like gateway where it's like just like giant ass back and
That's
stuff
stupid.
like
I
that.
don't like that. See,
It's
I
like
don't-
a 90s aesthetic in their technology in like 2018. It looks so
I
cool.
don't like that.
It's a great
Like,
fucking
you
show.
can't
by the way.
That's all you gotta say on it.
Good thing there was no liquid in that.
It is a great show. But yeah. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff for of just like different decades aesthetic and like future like worlds.
I'm not watching anything geek related right now. I'm just watching reality TV. So
Oh no.
Yeah, we stopped watching our shows.
we have
We haven't picked it up yet.
because we went on vacation and we're still waiting for like I don't want to finish it and
What show?
Vanderpump
Alright,
Rules.
so I don't like reality TV show. I don't like reality.
But
TV
I
show.
love Vanderpump Rules is my favorite, so I've made him start to watch it so he can watch it with me.
Yeah.
And I just want him to watch it.
These
with me.
people are like,
Terrible.
they're not real people.
Mhm.
Like these aren't people. These aren't the way like normal people act.
Oh.
But these people do it. That's why it's fun.
Yeah, so
That
but,
makes
like
it fun.
there's like a season that's out, but it's not on Hulu yet. So I think that's why we haven't started watching because we don't want to finish 5 and then be like,
Yeah.
all right, now what do we do while we wait for 6 to come on
Yeah,
Hulu?
100 isn't.
I probably
see it?
rewatch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I saw
I've
it.
not seen it.
I saw it through
What
a
are you-
coworker, but it still wasn't really good.
What are you watching and playing right now?
I'm watching the 100. Great show. Great.
Is it still going or is it like done?
I actually don't. Well, here's the funny thing. It has to be done because I watched Lost like 2.5 years ago. After I finished Lost, I was like, "Hey, you like Lost? You probably like this." I was like, "Add to my list." Didn't watch it. Like again, for 2.5 years, it's been on there. And then
nothing new added though.
I don't remember like keeping up with it and seeing like what season they were on when it added it to my list and like so I never like looked it up or anything. So like and then like I'd say like a week ago, week and a half ago, I was like, I'm not watching nothing.
Let's watch this.
I'll start the 100. So I watched the first episode and I was like,
You were just getting off of finishing. Sorry, this has
What did I
nothing to do.
finish?
Finishing Gangster and Zetman.
I finished Gangsters, that man.
Gangsters, so
You brought that up and I want to watch it, but it's going to kill me. Because I
Attack
know
or
it's the second
I
worth it.
I finished Attack on Titan and then My Hero Academia, which I didn't check. I think they're done
Yeah.
too. So I was like, all right, I'm literally not watching.
Oh, My
nothing.
Hero's done?
This
then I'll
season,
watch
this
that
season, yeah.
season.
And I was
I'll
like,
watch
all
it,
right,
I'll find
I'll watch the 100. So I like start the first show. It's really good. Whereas Lost fell off. I finished Lost, but I do like when people say it was rough at the end because it was. It got time travel.
Yeah.
There was magic. It was like, yo, what the heck? But
You got
the
really
100 is very like believable. It's like it's like still scientific. Like there's reasons behind stuff like that.
Okay.
And so it's like it's about these. There was a nuclear war on Earth. People fled to space and they're living in this combined space station. Originally, it was like 13 different space stations, but they like combined them and formed the Ark. So people have been living up there for about 100 years, but like the Ark is like dying, so like they have to find a way to like, you know, kind of preserve its life. So they send like the juvenile delinquents like down to Earth to see if it's livable. But
It's
also,
like Wall-E.
yeah, kinda. And but to also like buy the Ark more like air, like resources and stuff like that.
Okay.
Turns out the Earth is livable to them because they've been living in space, so they've been exposed to solar radiation, so their body can metabolize it. So now they can live on Earth and they're fine. But there's also people that have been living on Earth, like they call those the grounders, and they're like primitive in a sense. They can speak English. They probably have. It's been 100 years, but they still probably have like, you know, people have probably told them about technology in a sense. They don't know about it, but like, you know, but they're primitive. They fight with swords, bows,
That's
stuff
cool.
like that. Yeah. So
I want to watch that.
yeah, but it's very interesting because it's like, whereas Lost was like grown adults, this is like anywhere from 13 to like lower 20s, right? And well, in the beginning it is. Other people will eventually come down, but like in the beginning it's like these kids and they have to like figure out like, yo, we need to like, you know, come up with rules and stuff. Cause yo, spoiler alert, they hung this one man. He survived. I'm gonna just keep it 100. Yeah.
Like the show.
There you go.
Yeah, like the 100.
Alright.
They hung this one man, but he like, you know, just off of accusation though. Hey, the so-and-so is dead and we know you didn't like him. Get up. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, oh, you know what I mean? Like, trial? Like, you know what I'm saying?
There ain't
So
no
it was-
trial. It's like,
it was like-
Lord of the Flies. Kind
Yeah, it was, so it's like, it's really interesting to see, and to see them evolve from kind of like, you know, not really caring kids in a sense, cause like, they're like, they each kind of did a crime. And the funny thing was, it didn't necessarily have to be a major crime. Like, you could have stole some extra rations from the Ark and just get thrown in. So like, you might not be necessarily a bad person, but like, that's where you work. But they have to evolve into like soldiers, cause like, these people are like attacking and stuff like that. Then there's another group of people that live in a mountain. They're in this bunker, but they cannot be exposed to radiation. So they, like, I'm not going to say nothing else, but they are a whole nother antagonist to everybody in a sense.
Okay.
So it's like, but it's all scientific. So everything that happens is explainable and things like that. But I think it's a very good show. Games I'm playing right now, just got Black Ops 4.
I want to get that just for the Blackout.
Blackout is good. I like it better than PUBG just because it feels better. COD's shooting has always felt great, so it's like throw that in the VR and I'm still gonna love it.
Yeah.
Zombies is good. I feel like zombies.
That's all my dad ever plays is zombies.
Really?
Yeah, her dad plays.
I feel like,
Blackout 2.
I feel like, you know, Infinity War has the best multiplayer in a sense, like with Modern Warfare 2, but Treyarch is always, and Infinity War doesn't do zombies.
Treyarch.
One thing I give Treyarch is like, they do zombies, but they've also always been kind of upping the bar. First you had Black Ops 1, which was kind of just your standard zombies, but Black Ops 2 had like, hey, these DLCs have like, you know, just kind of like a story with this when you're playing the map. So like, you have to go, and it made it more interesting. So like, instead of just getting a pack-a-punch being somewhere random, you have to go through the witch's house and to get to it. But if she touches you, she can like take your points away. So if you get through there and like you have no points, you just did all shit for no reason.
That is
so like they made zombie, and Alcatraz was fun.
Alcatraz.
So like they kept upping the bar for zombies. So that's one thing I always give them. But Black Ops is great. I'm still been playing Overwatch a bit. Play FF14 religiously because I rated
Her
it.
and I stopped playing.
I'm so mad. I'm mad at Overwatch.
They
You're
changed
mad at
her
Overwatch?
2 characters that she ever
Oh
played.
no, who?
They changed
Who?
completely. Symmetra, who was her main.
Oh yeah.
She was like the one Symmetra player that I was like, she's retro.
Well, Symmetra didn't take that. It wasn't that hard to be good at her.
No, it really.
I was not good with Symmetra. I was never good with
You didn't even have to aim,
I was
and
never
the
good with
beam
Symmetra.
didn't break for like a good second and a half, no matter the distance.
Nope.
No, that's what was broken about it. It could still do
I get
damage even if you Genji dashed across the map. It'll be still connected to you for that 1.5 seconds. And on 9 times out of 10, that's what killed me. It's because it just doesn't break after the distance is lost.
See, like, they didn't change my character. Like, I'm gonna risk him.
Okay.
She's my,
Every character
my
I've ever
character.
played, they've changed. Diva, Mercy,
They gave her missiles, and the missiles are probably the best in the
That's
I
game.
don't like it. I
The
don't like
It's
missiles
not
are
broken.
fucking
Diva's
good.
good. Diva's fine.
Diva's great.
Diva
I
wasn't
haven't played
broken
in
to
a
begin
long
with.
time.
You haven't played long.
Road.
Yeah.
I was a Roadhog main for a little bit. They messed with him.
They changed that was like 3 years ago.
Listen,
I don't
hey,
care.
But
I'm still
Roadhog-
hurt. I am still hurt as well because I used to.
It's barely noticeable.
Roadhog. What? Roadhog was broken.
No.
Yeah.
You see this table here? I can just hook you over that joint. But look, you could have ran completely away from me. And I'm
Nah.
Around the corner.
exactly.
Look, here's the thing.
Oh, I love those.
There's
Roadhogs.
two things. From game development, there's two things Roadhog had. Yes, if you were around a wall, his hook should not pull you into the wall. Kind of like how Reinhardt's charge
You gotta do
sucks
what
you
you
into
gotta
that bitch.
Yeah.
No, that should not happen. Now,
Gotta do
if
what you
I
gotta do.
jump, hook you, gotcha, and I go behind the wall, you're coming with me. If I throw a rope over your neck and I'm not trying to hang you and throw you out that window, that rope's not going to break.
All right.
I've already connected it. I've
Yeah,
already
That's
connected it.
true.
So that's where I think I was like, yes, you need to fix one thing.
Him just going through the wall.
Yeah, the hook, like I've been standing by a wall and the hook go like that and I've been sucked to the hook. Yes, that should not happen. But if you're jumping and I hook you, but you're still momentum carries you behind the wall, you should come to me. It shouldn't break. It shouldn't break. If you're behind the wall, no. But like that changed this whole thing. And then they made him so it's
His
like
gun is dumb.
he couldn't one shot kill
Yeah.
anymore, which is that's
Which is his
Roadhog's
whole
thing.
aesthetic.
He makes picks.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a shield.
If your team messes up and a Roadhog catches you, you should be like baffled by that. There should be a complete like hit or I
Core
forgot the name.
changes.
Yeah, like there should be like a I don't know. There's a word for it.
I have a question for all of you. Because her and I have had this discussion before. How do you, okay, I know this is a while ago. How do you feel about Mercy's changes?
I kind of hate them. Kind of.
My
No.
entire thing with Mercy is that they were like, she's too OP, she can revive her whole team. That is the entire point
That's
of
what I'm
Mercy.
saying. They keep changing these heroes.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what this hero
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
No, you know what? I was like, okay.
I don't know. I
was
don't know
like,
what
okay.
they made her do now.
I was like,
but
She
here's
still
what-
goes like
she's
Super Saiyan, I
still-
think.
Well, she still can fly, and then her heal can now connect from one person to another. Her damage can do the same thing. Her gun doesn't need to be reloaded when you're shooting.
I like
it, so
Moira. Was that her name? Is that her
Yeah,
name?
She's
Moira's
awesome.
cool.
That's
Now,
my new fave.
here's the thing, though.
I'm gonna like her.
I was fine. I was like, okay, you can't res multiple people now. Res on cooldown, whatever. I was like, I hate that, but whatever. At least I can res Q res. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Nope. If you res, you hit Q. That's cool. You still got 30 seconds, my guy. It's like, come on, give me two.
Sitting there just like moving her arms like
It's
this.
like,
kinda
so, yeah, no, and then they added the stupid cast time. So I fly to someone like, boom, I can just shot ahead. Like, I was like, yo, Mercy doesn't even like, what is her, what is her whole thing anymore? It's
She
like,
just flies
and
around.
that's the thing,
Flies
like,
in the air.
that's the thing I hate, like, you know, a couple people complain, the team res, she just canceled on all
And
her ults. It's like,
honestly,
nah,
the reason
that's
why-
what she does.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what?
that's not the reason why I started playing. The
What makes me
reason why I
more
stopped
mad
playing.
than anything?
Jeff Kaplan.
Jeff Kaplan not having a Twitter.
Jeff Kaplan.
Yeah, that was a whole-
I like Jeff Kaplan, but
I think he's
if,
funny.
if
He
I-
always comes on there and says some dumb stuff.
if I have a problem
we
with
hear at
Jeff
Blizzard
Kaplan,
thought Junkrat should be able to hit.
But then you
That's
then that would
kinda
turn
next.
into millions of
Probably.
people. Somebody
But
had a problem
I-
with Jeff Kaplan, they'll just hit his Twitter.
but that's the point of a
He's like,
Twitter.
yo, no.
That's the
I would do
point
that.
of the Twitter, though. Like, if,
I'll be on
and if
YouTube
he's
before the
gonna
patch
be-
comes out.
if he's going to be technically the face of Overwatch, he should have a Twitter. If he's
If
going
I
to be
was
the
him,
one,
dude, I would absolutely get a Twitter and every time just be like, every time somebody says some like awful
he'd
shit
slay
to me, I'd
somebody.
be like, are you so you're a Hanzo main? All right, cool. We're taking Hanzo out the game.
Oh no!
It's like it's not the main reason why I stopped playing. I stopped for a bunch of different reasons. But one thing I didn't like, basically, one thing I didn't like about Overwatch back when I was playing it heavy is that it quickly turned into tournament feeding, and that's what I was getting on before with situation with co-ops is that this is such a tournament heavy society right now in games for some reason that it's just like, yeah, that it's getting ugly now, affecting games. A lot of the situations that they were doing to characters weren't even specifically to damage the actual game, like in the sense of how we play it. It was to help the pro players.
Yeah.
Because the pro players would come out and be like, oh, we don't like this and we don't like that about the game. And then next thing you know, it's fixed, and it was like, yo, whoa, but I liked it.
Yeah.
The guy that the guy that worked from 9 to 5 and came home and just wanted to play some Overwatch. Now I'm screwed because this guy sitting at home and wanted to play video games for 8 hours didn't like one thing when through his 6 hours of playing it. It's like, whoa, come on, yo. Like I feel as though there should have been a different situation. There should be a way in where citizens play a video game, and there should be a way that pros or athletes, whatever they want to call themselves, play the game. And you fix their version of it. You don't mess with our version, because just equally as in, like, I don't like the person, like back when I was in competitive, I don't like the person that would get into competitive and didn't take it seriously. I also
That's the point of competitive.
don't like
it.
But the thing is that I also don't like the guy that jumps into competitive and then now thinks this is esports. Yeah. It's like, I'm not running the Roadhog meta. I'm just playing the game seriously.
It's like gym class. Like, it's not the Olympics, but at least try.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I'm not playing the diva meta. I just want to play this seriously.
Yeah. Well, that's the.
I think that might just be Overwatch, because I started playing Rainbow Six Siege again. I played ranked Rainbow Six Siege, and I really like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that might just be Overwatch, just because of like the esports scene. Yeah.
I mean, Rainbow Six has some.
Really? It's not affecting us, and that's what I kind of like about the whole way Monster Hunter is, because a lot of people are trying to turn the arena quest into an esport, and where it's like there's this thing where, I mean, you can regularly hunt monsters and stuff like that, but there's also an arena. You can go up to the gathering hall and go into the arena, and they give you a fixed weapon, fixed armor set with fixed skills, and you have to fight this monster in an arena, like this tight space. Mm-hmm. And usually the stuff that they give you sucks, so it's like one of those situations
where 10 you might have something good.
Exactly. So it turns into one of those things where you're not now playing this game for the fun of like carving or whatever to get your own weapons, build something that's. Now you technically have to be a computer in a sense. You have to learn the game. So you have to know the monster. You have to know the monster when it turns this way, it only does 1 to 3 attacks. So you could do whatever. Mm-hmm. And it turns into like one of those. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are doing.
Monster Hunter's been like that, because depending on the weapon you play, it's going to depend on what you do and when you do it. Like, you know, if Basil Goose is doing his like rare up, I'm going to bring my head down and drag thing, I'm not going to really do my great sword slash at that point, but I'll still pull up with that insect blade. You know what I mean? So it's like, depending on the weapon you play, it's like it's always been like that, different. You have to know, and that's how Monster Hunter has been. You need to know this monster moveset. And speaking on that, when they added Rathalos into FF14 for the Monster Hunter Switch thing with Behemoth, everyone was screaming because they were like, "Oh my god!"
In Final Fantasy,
yes, because they never played Monster Hunter before, or B, they're just really used to moves being telegraphed, like, hey, it's this AoE cone, I'm coming, or hey, it's this task bar, I'm coming, I'm doing this, you know what I mean? It's like, they weren't used to that. Whereas me, I'm like, oh, Rathalos is doing this move. He's kind of like, his body's arched with his tail, he's about to swipe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm just like, back there, like, oh, they're like, why am I getting hit? Hell, I'm just like,
we could definitely say that, you know, it was reciprocated, because the Behemoth came in. Behemoth came into Monster Hunter, and people are still dying.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They
so hard.
They have never, and that's they have never, and then people that play Monster Hunter, not saying they've never played the MMO, but they've never played, you know, FF. And so, like, when I saw the, was it Charybdis or whatever? Mm-hmm. I knew that was like that wind thing.
And people didn't know, push it to the side. They were just like, why is this tornado chasing me? But it'll be like right in the middle of battle, so somebody will come in and then just.
And that's the thing. That's the first time Monster Hunter really had true targeting mechanics. And I'm used to that. Oh, I got this. These places are weird. And I would always do that. Because I'm a dual blade class, like, all right, I got wind. I'm going to place this all the way on the wall.
I should play myself.
I tried. So, like, that's the first time they have mechanics. And I kind of understood, like, okay, I don't want this spawning in the middle of the arena. Logically, I'm going to put this on the wall. Yeah. You know, most people are just like, what's this wind thing around me? It's like, this is your 5th time in here. I've seen you in here before. Like, how do you not know what's happening right now? Yeah. And then they have the whole aggro thing where, you know, you have the enmity and you want someone that's really tanky to, like, you know, be able to take those hits. So there was differences on both sides, and it was like, you know, again, if you play both like me, you kind of got that and I got that. But, you know, most people were like not, you know, doing both. If you play Monster Hunter religiously, that's all you play. Yeah, Bedford literacy, that's like.
The real back end. I don't know. This esports thing to me is like killing a lot of games that I love. But
It is.
Shall we go around and give one more last final thought and say goodbye to everyone today?
Goodbye.
All right.
I mean, I have any final thoughts and talk to y'all next time, I guess.
Dominic
Yeah.
out.
You got a final thing to say to everyone?
Do drugs.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
Other drugs.
Dare.
There.
I want that line now.
All right. Was that your final thought?
No, don't want the line
Don't
now.
want the line.
No, PC Master Race. Was that your final?
Yeah, I'll let that be my final thought.
All right.
Great
We'll
for
get back
anarchy
to-
on the Twitter page.
We'll get to that next time.
I mean, I get where you're coming from with that. My final thought, I don't got one, so I just want some dip.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we're about to eat. Thank you for. I hope you enjoyed Heat Crossing episode 1. And
Get newsy.
No.
I'm gonna make
she
these
said-
Get newsy.
No.
It's on the
Get
Twitter.
newsy,
It is
people.
officially true.
I have the password. I'm saying.
All right.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.